Hi everyone, it's Graham again and welcome back to my channel. So today I am here with my December 2021 reading wrap up. I read 7 books in December. They were all kind of short books, so it wasn't really the greatest reading month for me. I didn't have the greatest of concentration either. I've sort of been in a bit of a reading slump for the last few weeks. I'm not going to lie. I'm still reading, I think it's November's pick from the TBR jar that Duncan created for me last year, and I didn't read December's. I don't have them with me for the video today, but the November pick is a Terry Pratchett novel, and it's a collection of short stories, like sort of middle grade, and it's called The Witch's Vacuum Cleaner. It's not that I'm not enjoying it, it's just I've not had the concentration, and I've been reading other things, and yeah, it's not been good. But I also didn't read December's pick because the writing was tiny and I just wasn't feeling it. But yeah, anyway, without much further ado, let's get into the books. As always, they're not in reading order. They're just in the order that I held them up for the thumbnail picture. So the first one is a point horror novel. I have never read this one before. I have a massive collection of these. I might actually do a video on my collection of point horrors. This is The Snowman by R.L. Stine. I did not enjoy this. This was full of characters that were just abominable. They were horrid people. We have Heather, who works in a restaurant in the local mall. She hates her uncle, who she lives with, and her aunt, who is a bit of a sort of doormat for her uncle, really. She has a boyfriend called Ben. Then this guy hops up called Snowman because he has white hair and very pale skin. And it's horrible. It was just horrible. I just really didn't like it, and it kind of hurt my soul a little bit, because if I'd read this as a kid when I was collecting these, I would have really enjoyed this. But as an adult looking at this, there's issues around coercive control and sort of gaslighting as well, and I really didn't like it. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. But yeah, it's part of my collection of my point horrors, so there we go. So the next one I did love. I adored this. It was for Christie Fest, and it is not the 450, it's 450 from Paddington by Agatha Christie. This is amazing. We have Miss Marple, who has a friend coming to stay for a few days before Christmas, and the friend witnesses someone being strangled on the train, but it's on the train that's opposite hers, so the trains kind of pull alongside one another on the tracks for a while. Excuse me. Not COVID, don't worry. They pull alongside the tracks and she sees someone being strangled. And yeah, it's twisty, it's great, it's all about family and money and all this good stuff that Agatha Christie books are always about. It's so good, and I thoroughly enjoyed this, and we'll probably reread this at some point in the next couple of years, because it was very good. And Duncan and I watched the adaptation of this with Margaret Rutherford. It didn't really follow the book, but it was entertaining nonetheless, because Margaret Rutherford was a brilliant Miss Marple. Hilariously funny. Yeah, so I recommend this one. It was very good. So the next one I have was my last... Was this my first read in January, or my last read in December? I think this was my last read in December. It's with my December wrap-up books, so it must be December. It is Pandemonium by Armando Iannucci, and this is some verses on the current predicament. So this is like a mock heroic poem about the COVID-19 pandemic. And it is so dark, it's so hilarious, it's so kind of below the belt really, but it's so on point as well. And it talks about the government and all the mess ups that they've had, and you know, giving contracts to their mates basically, and like the vaccination program, and the NHS and all that kind of stuff, and it's brilliant. And our Prime Minister is called Orbis, and he's seen as some sort of like godlike Führer, and the health ministers, or the WHO health people, are called Sweetness and Light, and yeah, it's just hilarious. But this guy also was involved in writing the Peter Capaldi comedy series called The Thick of It, and yeah, anything that comes from someone who can write something as close to the bone as that is going to be good, and this was very good. I recommend this. It was so funny. And then I have The Greatest Gift by Philip Van Doren Stern. This is about the second or third, possibly fourth time I've read this. I can't remember, but I have read this a few times now, and I love it. This is the basis for It's a Wonderful Life, which I watched for the very first time over Christmas and absolutely adored it. It talks about a man called George Bailey who has become sort of disillusioned with his life, and he wishes that he was never born, and his guardian angel grants him that wish, and he then finds out that things would have been very, very different, and not in a good way, if he hadn't been around. This was lovely, and this could stand a reread every Christmas, because it's just so nice. And the film, I'm going to watch it again next Christmas because it was brilliant too. Then we have The 12 Days of Christmas, a correspondence, and this is by John Julius Norwich, and it's illustrated by just the king of illustrators, Quentin Blake. This is based around the Christmas Carol of The 12 Days of Christmas, and it's a woman sending letters of thanks to her beau, Edward, and he's sending all the items that appear in the 12 Days of Christmas. And they start off so loving and lovely, and as the 12 days go on, Emily is getting more and more pissed off because she has all this livestock, all these birds, these naked milkmaids dancing around, and these leaping lords all sort of fawning over these naked milkmaids. Yeah, and by the end, her lawyer is involved, and yeah, basically there is a restraining order put out on Edward, and it is hilarious, and this will be read next Christmas. And I don't like to rush the time away, but I can't wait because I love this. It's so good. Then we had this gorgeous thing. This is Big Panda and Tiny Dragon by James Norbury. This is along the same lines as, I always get this wrong, the the Boy, the Horse, the Mole and the Fox by Charlie Mackesy. You know what the book I mean. I mention it all the time. I love that book, and this was no different. This is sort of based on the teachings of Buddhism, and it's just such a lovely message of love and kindness, and to be kind to yourself and to those around you. And the artwork, let me tell you, is just gorgeous. It's also a journey through the seasons of the year. So we have spring, summer, autumn and winter, and it's the panda and the tiny dragon are just travelling through the year and imparting their wisdom, and it's just lovely. It's just absolutely gorgeous. If you can get your hands on a copy of this, please do, because you will not be disappointed. It is just, it's delicious. It's delicious, and I loved it. And then the last book that I have is a book that I first read last year, and I've read it again this year. It's going to be my Christmas tradition going forward until the day I die. It is this. It's Where Snow Angels Go by Maggie O'Farrell, and the illustrations are by Daniela Jaglenka Terrazzini. This is just beautiful. It tells the story of a young girl called Sylvie who is ill, and she is visited by an angel that she later finds out is the angel she created when there was a snowfall. And when you create a snow angel, your snow angel goes up into heaven or into the clouds, and it is your guardian angel for the rest of your life. And she urges all the people around her, her friends, her family, her loved ones, to make snow angels so that nothing bad will happen to them. And it's just such a lovely, lovely story, and the artwork is just beautiful. I mean, end papers to die for, just gorgeous. And I'll get like my favorite one. I think this is probably one of my favorites in the book, but I'll get another one as well. I'll get one with the angel. Where are you? You'd have thought that I'd have marked the page, so it wasn't the one I was looking for, but that's good enough. That does. It's just lovely. And this edition, when I met Maggie O'Farrell last year, towards the end of the year, she signed it and dedicated it to Duncan and I. I hope you can see that. But yeah, if you can get a copy of this, please do, because it's just gorgeous. But yeah, that is my December 2021 reading wrap up. What have you been reading recently? What did you read in December? What was your favourite book of 2021? Please let me know down in the comments section below, and we can chat. But for now, I will say thank you so much for watching. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have so much fun doing it. Whatever you're reading, I hope you love it. Stay fabulous, be amazing, be yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye bye.